Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be playing another round of mini TBR style hop. So this was created by Stephanie from Stephanie's Bookverse, and I've been feeling a little bit slow with my reading lately, and I figured what I need is a jump start. I need something to like kick me into action and just really get me reading. So I thought playing a round of mini TBR style hop would be the best way to get there. It would encourage me to read and encourage me to read quite a lot in a short space of time. I don't know if I'm necessarily anticipating reading and completing this board within 48 hours like I did previously. So I have done a previous version of this, which I can link, which was a resounding success. So here we are, we're going to try it again, and hopefully I will have as much as a success this time around as I did when I first played it. And we shall see how it goes. If you don't know anything about this, I will link Stephanie's channel down below. She has a big board which she plays every month as her monthly TBR game, and then she has this mini version where she plays it every so often. I will link her latest video that she's done of this and also her monthly TBR style hop. It's so fun. I love watching her videos. Like, if you're not watching Stephanie, you should definitely go out. You should definitely go and check Stephanie's channel out. Let's get started. And my plan is to hopefully fit a lot of my October TBR onto this board and be able to like race through some of those books that I have on my TBR. So hopefully the game will give me some prompts that will fit with what I want to read. Okay, so roll number 1. 5. Okay, I feel like that's a good number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry, some beeping going on outside. There we go. Okay, so we have done roll number 1 and I have landed on the moon. Well, not literally the moon, but I've landed on a moon prompt. So I am going to screen record these moon prompts and we shall see what I get. Record and spin. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. Okay, under 400 pages, so a shorter book. That's good, that's good, that's good. Under 400 pages. So I do have a good book for this. I have a good book for this. And it's on my TBR. Well, I mean, actually, a few of the books on my TBR are under 400 pages. But I have The Return of the King. The Return of the King. So probably actually one of my longer 400 page, not longer 400 page books, but a book that's under 400 pages, but it's probably going to be longer than something else. Like I could have picked something else. But I am, as I'm filming this, actually I've already started it. So The Return of the King is this section of this collection. And in this edition, The Return of the King is, let me tell you. Oh, I can't get to the final page. Is this a sign that I don't want to actually see what's on the final page? It is 307 pages. So well within the under 400 page limit that this is giving me. I probably will be listening to this on audiobook and we will go from there. Although because this is going to be an audiobook and I do want to have a physical read, I think I might cheat a little bit and do a second roll so that I can have a physical book going as well as an audiobook. And I know traditionally Stephanie does just do like one book at a time, but oh, noisy, but I want to have 2. So I think I'm gonna do a second roll as well, so I can have 2 books going at once. Roll number 2. We want anything but a 1. We don't want a 1, and we don't want 2, 3, and we don't want a 6. So there are 2 numbers we don't want right now. Anything but a 1, anything but a 6. Oh no. Okay. Guess we're going back to the beginning because we've hit a wormhole. Oh dear. Oh no. Okay, so that wasn't what we wanted. That wasn't what we wanted. We didn't want to go all the way back to the beginning because we hit the black hole. How very, very disappointing. This is very disappointing. But I guess it's what's happening, that we've gone back to the beginning, we've hit a black hole. I have put some series that I'm working on that I do want to continue on with onto a spinner wheel. I'm going to spin this and see what it gives me. Okay, so let's just hit record and see what this spinner wheel decides to give me. Okay, stop. Perfect. Okay, we may have gone back to the beginning, but it is what I wanted. because I am currently reading this already, so this is perfect that I can keep going with it. I do have 300 pages left of this book, so that's the right amount. I will keep working on this. Quite good that I don't have to actually start something new, that I can keep working on what I'm currently working on. So at least the game did give me this. The game to give me 300 pages of the Dandelion Dynasty to read. So I don't anticipate that I'm going to be finishing it this weekend. This might be a ongoing TBR style hop, but that is what it is. So the two books that I'm going to be reading in tandem are The Return of the King and The Dandelion Dynasty Speaking Bones. So two series finishers, and they don't really get me anywhere because I'm back at the beginning of the board. I'm back at the beginning of the board and I am reading two quite long books. Well, 300 pages in both of them, but you know, like not the shortest, not the quickest of reads. So maybe once I finish these, I need to really actually put some short books on this TBR because this is going to take me a while maybe, but here we go.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now.
Making progress in both my reads, so I am doing really well with this. I'm about halfway through Return of the King, so excellent progress has been made here. I've read all of, so if you don't know, the Lord of the Rings is broken up into 6 books, so there are 2 books per book. So you have 2 books in the Fellowship, 2 books in the Two Towers, and 2 books in the Return of the King. So I've just finished book 5. I'm about to start book 6. So excellent progress here, very much coming to the end of this journey. And I have also made progress in Speaking Bones, the book that has taken me so long to read. So excellent, very happy to be making some excellent progress here as well. Since the beginning of today, I started on page 750. So a good chunk of the way through, and I am now at page 860. So 110 pages have been read of this as well. So I have about 190 pages to go until I get to the end. Great progress in both of these. I'm really enjoying both of them. I'm very happy to see where these are both concluding. This I am loving. I love those 100 pages. Those 100 pages have been so good. Like the amount of times I've been like shocked, open mouth, just the events that are happening. So good, so good. Would definitely recommend. So I think I'll just keep going and I will check in when I like actually finish something. Evening. Hello. So many hours time has passed, but I can now update you on my reading progress for both my roll 1 and 2. So for roll 1, I landed on book under 400 pages, and I have finished The Return of the King, and I finished this audiobook, and I finished this series. So success here. I finished this on Sunday, so I started this whole vlog on Saturday, this game, on Saturday afternoon, and I finished this on Sunday afternoon. So that was pretty quick progress, I would say, for The Return of the King, like 2 days, 24-hour period pretty much. And I'm really happy to have finished the series off. I'm so happy that I have now actually finished The Lord of the Rings. In my whole life, I've now finished it because I hadn't finished it before now. So really happy with this. I enjoyed it. I liked where it ended. I do feel as though the ending dragged on a little bit, that what I sort of think of in my head as the ending of this series, having seen the films many years ago, there's actually quite a bit that happens afterwards in the book, and for me that sort of dragged on a little bit long in the book. But in some ways I can see why it was like that, but also I felt like it was extended a little bit too long. I really enjoyed it. I think I'd give it a 4 stars. That it's not an all-time favourite series, but I'm very happy to have read it. And also I think Sam is the real hero in this series. Frodo, not so much. Samwise, he is the real hero of this series. He deserves everything. Samwise is definitely the best. So, success there. Also, I finished Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. My second role, I finished it. So 2 series over 1 weekend. Like, who is she? How did she do that? Like, I know it was a long time coming, especially for this one, because I've been reading it for like a good 2 weeks. But like 2 series in a weekend. Wow. So this one I loved. Like, it took me 2 weeks, but there's no like sign on the book at all. It was just me struggling to pick it up during the week, so I literally did it in like weekend chunks. Like, it was read over, I think, 3 weekends, where I read like hundreds of pages each weekend, and then read nothing in the week in between. But this book, what a ride. I mean, this whole series is what a ride. I would strongly recommend Ken Liu and the Dandelion Dynasty. Like, I would so strongly recommend it. I think it's going to be my favourite series of the year. It's easily, like, it's my favourite series of the year that I've read. I'm really satisfied with the way that this ended. I do think there was some slightly weirder pacing that at some points felt really fast, and I was like really, really invested, and then we would maybe go back in time and it would slow things down a little bit. But as a whole, I love this. Like, I cried at a few different stages in this book. Like, there were tears coming. Even in the beginning, like maybe the first 200 pages, I started crying. And then, I don't know, it just, the way Ken Liu writes, it just hits me. He's just able to hit me. So he really gets all my emotions. Like, I get so invested in it that it makes, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm rooting for our characters, I'm repulsed by what's happening. Like, there's just, I get very strong emotions reading this. Success for role number 2, which was to read, this was a wormhole pick, so my ongoing series. We're back at the beginning again. We're back at the beginning. We're back at the beginning of the board because of landing on that wormhole. So I haven't moved. I've read 600 pages, odd, but I haven't moved at all. We're back at the beginning of the game. Like, why? I mean, good thing I'm not trying to do this over 24 hours, but I'm still back at the beginning of the game. This feels so very unsatisfying. But I'm just using this as a way to like decide the order that I'm reading my TBR. So it's fine. So I'm gonna go away and we will roll. Okay, roll number 3, back at the beginning. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Onto that black hole yet again. Okay. We have landed on the black hole. Again. We are literally at the beginning. Again. It's not even 3rd time's a charm, because I'm still not past that first black hole. So, great. Back to the ongoing series list. So in place of the Dandelion Dynasty, I have added Murderbot to this list. You can really see the glare of my laptop now. Oh, yeah. I've added Murderbot to the list, so that has replaced the Dandelion Dynasty, because I cannot continue in that series anymore because I've finished it. So we are just going to see what it gives me. I'm hoping it's going to give me something light and fun, and not something too heavy, because after reading 2 quite heavy books, I need something lighter. And we're going to spin. Do I do Blood and Honey because it's told me I have to? Okay, well, if you saw, my first reaction was, I don't want to read that one. I don't want to do that. I want to spin again. But it has landed on Blood and Honey. And after some reflection, I'm not going to spin again because that's just not part of the rules. And I figured that I have put this book off so many times, and I should just give it a try. Give it 100 pages, and if I don't like it, I can DNF, and I'll just move on to my next role. Like, I'll have given it a good try, and we can just move on. Like, I just need to give this book a try and see if I'm still interested in this series, and this game has told me that I have to do this. It's not going to be a book I want. I might have wanted like 10,000 Stitches or the Golden Enclaves. Like, I wanted something else from this, but this is what it has chosen for me. It is pushing me to look at this series and actually decide what I'm going to do with it. And at least I can then make a decision on it. Like, either I read this and I like it and I keep going, or I DNF and I decide that this series isn't going to be for me. But either way, I will know, and hopefully a decision will be made, and I can have this series either finished by the end of the year or not, or that I've given up on it. And I'm just going to read it as Figure the Serpent and Dove is a standalone. So this is my roll number 3. Again, we're back at the beginning, but here we go. It is quite long, it's quite chunky, but the writing is really large, so hopefully it won't take me that long to read this. Okay, you know what? I don't think I care. I don't care about this book anymore. I don't care about this series anymore. I've read the first 62 pages and I just don't really care. Like, I think that's the long and short of it. And that's why I've been putting it off, is because I just have lost interest in this. These characters, this world, I just have no interest in reading it anymore. Like, I think the time has been and the time is gone. Maybe if when I read Serpent and Dove for the first time, if the whole series had been published, I would have read the whole thing and probably really enjoyed it. But I think now I've just been trying to keep going because I own this, and I feel like it's a waste of money for me to have bought this and not read it. But actually it's more of a waste of my time if I push through this, because I'm just not interested. I just don't care. Like, I'm just going to imagine in some ways that Serpent and Dove is a standalone. I think I will keep that one and I'll probably unhaul this one, because I just have, and it's not a standalone at all because it ends on a cliffhanger, but like, I just don't care enough about these characters and this world and this setting to keep going with this series. And YA isn't my biggest thing anymore, so it just isn't ticking the boxes. So I think I'm going to DNF this. I gave it 60 pages. I gave it a chance. I gave it something. And I will roll again, and we'll go on to our 4th roll. I'm counting this as my 3rd roll. I know I've DNF'd it. I've not finished the book, but I feel like 60 pages is a good enough amount. You get some novellas that are 60 pages long. So I did do the reading of a book. And just because that book isn't for me, I feel like I shouldn't be punished for that. So, roll number 4. It's a 3. It's not a 6. It's a 3. So, 1, 2, 3. We're on a star. So let's go see what the star prompts are going to give us and work on that. Okay, let's spin the wheel and see what the star prompts are going to give me. Right, spin. Shorter than 300 pages. I can make this work. I can make this work. 10,000 Stitches. This is 245 pages. Perfect. Fits perfectly. So, under 300 pages, here we go. We have our book. I'm not going to even come up with like other options at all. I don't know if I even really have any on my physical TBR that would be other options for this, because a lot of what I read is longer than this. But here we go. This is just what I need. I need something light. I need something fun that I'm going to race through and not going to be able to put down. And it's exactly what I wanted to read. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to read. This is what I wanted that series wheel to give me. And it didn't give me. It gave me Blood and Honey, which had its very brief moment. And we're going to go for this. This is a Regency fairy tale romance, so combining elements of a historical romance in a Regency setting with fairy tale elements, and they're sort of magical undercurrent throughout. So the first one was called Half a Soul, and it follows this girl in Regency England, and half of her soul has been taken by a fairy. And this one, I think this person makes a deal where she has to sew 10,000 stitches into a waistcoat, and she'll get the person that she loves to fall in love with her. But I imagine it's all going to go awry. It's all going to go wrong. But I'm very excited to read this, and I feel like it's just what I need. It's perfect. So let's go away and read this. and then hopefully I won't hit any more black holes. Hello, good evening. So I haven't finished my 4th book yet. I mean, I've hardly started, but I'm going away for a few days, so I figure I'm going to do my 5th roll now so that I can get my 5th book for what I'm going to take with me whilst I'm away, and then I will have 2 books that I will be reading until I come back and do my next roll, because this is taking quite a bit longer than planned because the game doesn't like me. This game, it's the game that never ends because it just keeps on giving. So anyway, we're gonna go do roll number 5 and see what I get from that. Okay, roll number 5. Anything but a 3. Anything but a 3. It's a 4. It's a 4. We're good with that. We're good with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on a star again, so continuing with the star prompts. Okay, so we have landed on star. We made it safely past the black hole. So, success. We only have to get past one more black hole. We just need to get past that second black hole and we're going to be all good. We're going to be all good. So, we're making some progress, finally. We've got past that first one. Whew. Whew. And we're on to star prompts yet again. So, continuing with the theme, stars. And so let's just spin the wheel, see what it gives me, then I'll pick my book and that will be the one that I take with me alongside the one from yesterday, which was 10,000 Stitches. So let's just record and spin. You're not going to give me short again. Okay, I feel as though I've literally just got that one. Like, why would it give it to me twice? I'm going to respin just to make it, give me a different prompt, and go from there. Okay, so spinning again. Series. Okay. I mean, you can see the theme of what I've been working on for this video has been series, so I'll just stop that recording. It's not really quite a lot of my TBR has been series. This doesn't feel like that much of a chore to be doing a series. And series is very, very broad. It could be first book, second book, third book, it could be anything. And I do have quite a few series left on my October TBR that I want to read. I've got a whole my October TBR stack here. So all of these actually would fit in this series thing. That I have A Destination Called Peace, which is the sequel to A Memory Called Empire. I have The Golden Enclave, the sequel to the third and final book in the Scholomance series. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is the first book in this duology, and then The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So, which one? Which one's going to come with me on my trip? I've been feeling, I think, like The Golden Enclaves finishes off a series, or maybe Daughter of the Moon Goddess has also been calling to me. Decisions. This book smells so good. I feel like A Destination Called Peace I'm not in the mood for right now, just because I've had some heavy things, I need some more light things, and I don't think I'm quite in the headspace for this one right now, but I do want to get to it this month. So maybe that book will have its comeback later on in this video. I think we're going to go with The Golden Enclaves and finish this series off. I managed to get this Waterstones edition with this eye. I think I'm going to go for this, but I might change my mind between now and when I actually leave. So if I do change it, I will just tell you. But I think for now, we're going to go with The Golden Enclaves is my 5th book for this vlog, for this game. And we will see what happens next.
Will you stay even when you want to walk away? When times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to let you down.
Hello. I am back to continue this vlog and confirm that I have read books 4 and 5. Pretty sure this is 4 and 5. I hope I'm not messing up my numbers. But I have finished both of these books and ready to roll for roll number 6. Will I get past the black hole? Will I make it to the end of this game? Will I? But before I do that, I'm going to check in on these 2 books and my thoughts and feelings on these. Also, can we just comment on that it's 6 p.m. and it's dark outside? I hate that we lose the light so early in the winter. It's not even winter yet, it's autumn. So book 4, 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. So cute. So cute. I think I like this just as much as Half a Soul. I really liked our main character Effie and her relationship with Lord Blackthorn, and this deal that she makes with him, and that she's going to sew 10,000 stitches onto his favourite jacket so that he can help her fall in love with Lord Ashbrook. But things don't necessarily go to plan. This, I really liked the relationships in this, the friendships, the magic, the way that was interwoven, the setting with her as a maid and the family that she worked for. I really liked it. This was so cute. This was so cute, so fun. And because it was so short, I raced through it. Like, I am definitely interested to see how the third book is. So the third book, they're all companions, so they're all separate, but I definitely do want to read the third book and sort of wrap up this world and this series. But this was a lot of fun. And then I read The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. This was for a series, I think it was. The 10,000 Stitches, what was that for? Was that for a short book? Was that under 300 pages? And then this was for series. And so I've now finished off another series. Look at me go. I am racing through my series this month. I mean, continuing in one, finishing another. I've already finished quite a few, as you've seen in this vlog. What am I doing? So, Golden Enclaves, the third and final book in the Scholomance series. And I didn't like it really, I don't think. I've literally just finished this, so it is still quite like fresh. I'm gonna keep like reflecting on it, and I don't think I liked it. I didn't hate it. Like, there wasn't anything like, I wasn't hate reading it, but I also wasn't loving my time reading it. This one takes a step away from the school setting of the books 1 and 2. And it's not so books 1 and 2 were like my favourite thing ever, but I preferred that school setting, that sort of marketed as like a dark academia, dark school setting where children are fighting off monsters. Well, teenagers are fighting off monsters and trying to stay alive in this school setting. And that's what the first 2 books gave me. And then this one is, you get much more of the world. And I guess much more of like our real world, because it is in our real world. And I think I just wanted to be back in that more insular school setting, as opposed to all of the dramas that go on outside of that in the real world with these magic users. I felt like it was a little bit long. It went on a little bit, and I wasn't so much a fan of some of the plot choices, or more like the romantic choices, or some of the choices threw me a little bit. Overall, I'm happy I finished the series, but definitely it wasn't a favourite. It wasn't a favourite, but I did really like that I was on a plane coming back from New York, and the character in this was at Heathrow leaving for New York, and I was like, oh wow, I'm doing that in reverse. I'm going to Heathrow. So I just found that a very weird coincidence. A very, very weird coincidence. So there we go. There's book 4 and book 5. Tick. We will finish this game. Eventually, we will finish this game. We will. I have faith in myself. We're close. We're getting there. We're getting there. Right. Okay. Roll number 6, I think. Oh, you can't see it. It's gone off, but it's a 5. We've got 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are past the final wormhole. The end is in sight. Okay, so for our 6th roll, I believe, we got a moon prompt, and we're getting so close to the end now. Finally, this game has taken a lot longer than a weekend. It's pretty much like using the mini TBR Star Hop as a whole month long like reading TBR game now, because it just taken me a little while to work my way through this. But we're approaching the end, and we're also approaching the end of the month nearly, so it really is like a month-long read along. So we're on a moon prompt. Hopefully this is our penultimate book for this game, and let's spin this moon prompt. We've got past the black holes, so we are good. So let's just see what this moon prompt is going to give us. I've changed up a few of the like prompts that were on this originally and made them more appropriate to what I want to do right now. my game, my rules. But yeah, we're just going to spin this and see what it gives me. Are we getting hardcover or are we getting standalone? Oh, we have got standalone. Okay, standalone. I can make this work. Actually, perfect. I mean, as you can see from what I've been mostly reading in this vlog, in this game, I've been pretty much working on my series. So, you know what, we're going to break away from the series, and I guess it's a companion, but standalone, Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell, which is set in the same world as Winter's Orbit, but I think it's a completely standalone story following two new characters, and this was kindly sent to me by Orbit, so this will be good because I can get this read before it's released on the 3rd of November, I think it is. I believe in this world we're following two characters, and that the sort of magic or the sci-fi element is that there are two types of powers in this world, and one of them is that they can like read people's minds, and one of them is that they can influence people's minds, and one of those types of powers is illegal, and you're following these two characters. I'm not sure how much it links to Winter's Orbit, but I'm sure I can let you know more once I have started reading it. But I think it will go along the same veins as the first one, where it is a fantasy sci-fi, so combining the sci-fi elements with the romance, but from what I've heard, it leans more on the sci-fi, but the romance is really cute. So looking forward to reading this. I have now finished my prompt. I've finished Ocean's Echo, which was in for standalone. It took me a little bit longer than I planned. It took about a week because I was a bit slow to begin with. Although that's a bit weird because I feel as though I actually enjoyed the beginning of it more than the second half. So I feel as though for me with this book, I really liked where it started, and I really liked the beginning of this book and seeing like the characters come together and their relationship at the beginning and how it all started. But then when it got so political and everything was happening at the end, I was like, I'm a bit not too fussed anymore actually. Like, this is where it's actually building up. Like, it's actually getting more intense, things are happening, it's getting more fast paced, and I was just like, I don't care so much anymore, which was a bit sad that actually I cared a lot more in the beginning. I think I did explain the plot of this, that it's set in a sci-fi world where we're following two characters, one who's an architect and one who's a reader. An architect can compel people to do things, and a reader can read people's minds, and in this world readers are sort of looked down upon, and they sort of have to hide from society because they're seen as sort of a threat, and it's not good to have reader-like powers, and our two characters have these powers, and they're conscripted into the army to work together on a mission. I really liked our characters. I liked the characters and I liked them together, but actually I think similarly to the first book by this author that I read, Winter's Orbit, I actually preferred seeing these characters together and the romance side and the character side compared to the way that she writes sci-fi. And I want her to lean into the romance, but instead she's leaning into the sci-fi, and I'd rather it was the other way around. But I did still like this. I sound a bit negative, but I did still enjoy this. I did still like it. I just, from the beginning of the book where I was like, oh, I'm really, really liking this. This is like really, really good, to the ending, it sort of went, it didn't continue on the same trajectory as the beginning. So that has now been read, finished, success, yay. Moving on, let's do the roll. Okay, time for our final roll. It just needs to be anything higher than a 3. 3 or higher. And that's a 6. And that's a 6. So we're now at the end. I finally landed at the end of the board. It's only taken me the whole month. I mean, I know I've not been the fastest of readers, but I thought I was going to finish this game in like a weekend, a week at the most, but it's just kept going. It's just kept going. But we're here. We are at the end. So the final star prompt is normally mood read, so I need to figure out what I am going to put into here. I know which book I'm going to be reading now. I'm going to read Daughter of the Moon Goddess. That is my plan, because it is now pretty much the 1st of November. But I didn't know whether to just, for this final prompt, to read like the shortest of novellas, like The Hope of Elantris or something, which I haven't read. So I think that's what I'm probably going to do. But I will confirm once I've read it, but I expect it will be one of the really short Sanderson novellas, because those are the shortest books that I own, and I think that will be the most appropriate thing for me to read right now, just so I can finish this all off. Okay, hello. I have now finished The Hope of Elantris. So the shortest novella that I hadn't read in the Arcanium Unbounded was the one that I chose. It was like 20 something pages. And yeah, it was fine. I basically read this on the train this morning and read the whole thing, easy peasy, job done. I don't think it was anything remarkable. I don't think it really added to my experience of Elantris. I liked his preface and the reason that he wrote it, but it didn't really do much for me. I don't feel like it added anything to my like Sanderson Cosme experience, really. No, it was fine. Like, it wasn't bad. There was nothing wrong with it. It didn't really feel that necessary to me. Definitely, if you are going to read it after you've read Elantris, because it spoils like everything. But that's my only real comments on it. But at least it is read, so that is something. So I have finally finished this vlog. Finally, we are here. We are done. We've made it. So this has pretty much turned out to be a vlog of my reading in October. Granted, I did sometimes pick I didn't always pick the shortest of books. I didn't always pick tiny books. I did pick full-length books for pretty much every prompt. So I could blame myself. I mean, the only person I can blame is myself and the dice, but I could blame myself. So just to run through, I have tried to refresh my memory on what these were all for, but this is what I read for mini TBR Star Hop that did not treat me so nice. I had The Return of the King, which was for a book under 400 pages. I had Speaking Bones, which was in for Wormhole Pick, and this one I only had like 300 or something pages left when I landed on it, so I wasn't reading the whole thing, but this was in for my first Wormhole Pick. Then I hit the wormhole again, and I landed on Serpent and Dove, and this one I decided to DNF. Then I got short book under 300 pages, I think it was, and so that I had 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. Then it was series, and I did The Golden Enclose by Naomi Novik. Then it was standalone, and I did Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. And then just now, my final book, The End, I did The Hope of Elantris. And I think that was it. I think that was everything that I read over the course of this vlog, over what was meant to be a weekend, what was then became a month. But here we are, finally, we are done, we are finished. Not so successfully done in the 48-hour time period, but I did eventually get it there, eventually. So let me know if you've ever played TBR Star Hop. I typically think it's quite fun, especially when like the board goes along with you, and you can do it in a weekend. It did push me to read some things like it pushed me to like DNF Blood and Honey. It pushed me to read that short story in the collection, because some of these things hadn't been like top of my TBR, so it did like help structure my TBR a little bit and push me to get through it. And I was really motivated, especially at the beginning when I was reading Return of the King and Speaking Bones. Like, it really helped like get that momentum going. So if you do need something to like get your momentum going and like encourage you to read, especially over a weekend where you don't have any plans, I'll definitely like recommend it. I'll link Stephanie's channel down below where I got the inspiration from. I'll also link my first part of doing TBR Star Hop, so if you want to see me be a little bit more successful, I will link that video down below as well. And thank you so much for watching, if you've made it this far to the end of this very long video, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye.